Hello and welcome back to Dave Games, this time on the front three. Make sure if you are new to the front three, hit that subscribe button. Anyway, today we are going to be going into the enemy's lair. We're going to do a Liverpool team guide. I'm going to put my Jurgen Klopp hat on and we're going to have some fun. I'm going to go through expectations, budgets, best players, best young players, who to bring in, who to put in the bin, and of course run a simulation at the end. But anyway, let's go. So, expectations and budgets first. First, let's talk expectations. At Liverpool, you're expected to play possession football, attacking football, sign young players for the first team, and of course develop players using the club's youth system. All sounds good to me. Moving on to season expectations. So you have an option whether to go for winning the Premier League, Champions League qualification, Europa League qualification, and then the FA Cup final, semi-final, final, winner. As I'm big and I am ballsy, I'm going to go the winner of both. Going to confirm that. Now we'll just shoot over to see exactly how much money we will have to spend. So let's adjust that slider. And that is a whopping £126.5 million. This Liverpool team needs investment, and that's a great way to start. Right, so moving on, what tactics are you going to play with Liverpool? For me, I've adopted the Klopp tactics. I wanted to sort of apply my Football Manager knowledge and try and build a tactic that was capable of sort of remastering what Klopp is doing in the Premier League this season. So, my home tactic, I've gone with the Klopp 4-3-3. I've gone with a flat back four, a defensive midfielder on defend, then a box-to-box midfielder, an advanced playmaker support, a winger on one side and then an advanced playmaker on attack and an advanced forward through the middle. I'm sort of thinking about the Jurgen Klopp style, and that's what I want to see. You know, Coutinho is that left winger that comes inside, comes into the central areas and creates in central areas. You've got the box-to-box of either James Milner, you know, Emre Can, with Adam Lallana giving a bit of silkiness. Of course, Sadio Mane on the wing, and then, you know, either Firmino, Sturridge, Origi as that advanced forward through the middle. So in terms of the instructions, what I think with Klopp, obviously it's very high tempo, pressing, so you want to have your slightly higher line, not too high though because you don't want to get exploited. I think with Klopp teams as well, they play fairly narrow. Obviously the closing down is there, direct passing, and I think that they do exploit the middle. So I want to see Coutinho drifting into the number 10 slot and really causing all sorts of problems. Moving on to the away tactic, it's the Klopp 4-4-1-1. Similar system that he played when he was at Borussia Dortmund. I think I'm just going to switch this quickly to a central midfielder defend, because I think it gives you a little bit more defensive capabilities in there. Obviously Coutinho, instead of on that left-hand side, is now moved behind the striker, and you're going to look to counter-attack. And then the gung-ho tactic, when you've got to throw the ball forward, it's got to be the 4-2-4, again with Coutinho being the advanced playmaker and the target in the final third. Anyway, let's move on to players. So the best players at Liverpool in Football Manager 2017. First, of course, we have to start with Philly C. Absolutely exceptional on Football Manager. Current ability 4 stars, potential ability 4 stars. That is a top class player. But in terms of what you want to do with Coutinho, obviously the advanced playmaker from a wide area. His dribbling, first touch, absolutely incredible. Very composed player, got loads of flair, so he will pull out a trick, bust a few moves and go and score you some goals or get some good assists. 17 vision as well, that is an absolute key one. And in terms of some good traits, he's got cutting in from that left wing. Of course, you want in the Klopp system that we're building, we want our left winger to come, we want our advanced playmaker on the left to come in and create from that central zone. So that's absolutely perfect. 1-2s is fantastic for an advanced playmaker, and shots from distance, watch that space. Coutinho can absolutely hit it on Football Manager. Of course, with his 14 long shots, technique of 18, absolute quality. Moving on to the second best player at Liverpool for me, I think we've got to go with the new signing, Sadio Mane. Just pacey, very, very pacey. He's got the exact stats that you want for a winger on Football Manager. Pace 17, acceleration 17, dribbling and first touch. They're the real focus the ones that I focus on when I look for my wingers, along with flair and off the ball and stuff and determination. But he is right up there with quality. Again, runs with ball often you'd like. You potentially like to see him hug the touchline. If you want to teach him any instructions, get that to him straight away. Then moving on to the last player, I wasn't too sure exactly who the next best player was. Daniel Sturridge potentially, but the issue with him is he is injury prone. We'll go on to that a bit later on when we talk about the bin. So I'm going to go with Emre Can. He looks like a very, very, 22 years old. He looks like a box-to-box midfielder down to a T, or your shuttler, I like to call it. I don't like the word box-to-box, but shuttler, let's go with that. He'll be perfect for your shuttler role. Great stamina, strength, so many 15s. 15 heading, dribbling, tackling, technique, bravery. So those will improve as he gets older. What are 3 players there? So we've got Sadio Mane, Philip Coutinho, and of course Emre Can. Moving on to the best young players in the squad, I think we've got to start in the first team actually. Grujic looks like a real top talent in terms of a young 20-year-old central midfielder. You know, you could rotate him and Emre Can in that box-to-box role through the season in terms of fitness, in terms of form and so forth, but he looks like a real star in terms of development. I think the only person you want to... He's injured at the moment, but when he's not injured, I think I'd recommend going with someone like James Milner, you know, a player that's got pretty decent mental stats, so that could help him out in terms of his work rate and stuff. Moving on to another talented young player, I think we'll probably jump into the under-18s, and we'll jump on to Ben Woodburn, a talented player that played for Liverpool in the pre-season friendlies this season, and again, looks very, very good at Football Manager. Your 13 finishing, your determination again is something that you want from a young player. In terms of tutoring, I'd probably reckon go with Bobby Firmino. In terms of his ability to find space and so forth, and pick up traits from Firmino. Firmino's got, you know, places shots, which is a very, very good one for a striker to have, and then cuts in from both wings. Again, pretty decent if Ben Woodburn is going to turn into sort of an auxiliary forward in your lineup. On to the last player I want to touch on, and it's someone that I've had time with in Football Manager before, OJ. I had him at Dynamo Dresden and he was a great player, so I want to just talk about him for a little bit. Again, could be an option for rotating Coutinho in and out of the side. Stats are pretty decent. They'll probably become a maybe 3 to 4 star player, someone that you can rotate in and out of your squad. He's not going to be a world beater, but if you tutor him with the right players, he could hit those heights. And obviously Coutinho, OJ, you lads are going to be top pals. So moving on to signings for Liverpool. This Liverpool squad has holes in it, unfortunately. I think up front, Daniel Sturridge, I just won't be able to trust him in terms of his injury problems. So I think a striker could be needed. I'm going to go with the 2 centre-backs. I don't trust any of those centre-backs in there. You know, Soko, Dejan Lovren, not for me at all. And then I think at left-back, there could be another position there that you need to strengthen. And of course, in goal, Karius, Mignolet, are they going to win you the league? Probably not. So let's talk about 3 positions there. Let's pick 3 of those positions out right now in terms of what we want to get. Let's first start with in goal. And Liverpool is quite like Manchester United in terms of there's not that many players that want to join Liverpool because of their current missing of not being in the Champions League and so forth. But in terms of goalkeepers that you could pick out, there's one that is young and has absolutely insane potential on this game, and that is Donnarumma, the Italian future legend. On Football Manager, he is absolutely incredible. You could pick him up for around £20 million, and that for a goalkeeper that has got such ability and will join Liverpool is a good chunk of that 126 million. Just throw it on him, chuck it on him, sign Donnarumma for your team. In terms of the next player, let's go into defence, and let's jump over to Lazio. Again, another issue with Liverpool. You can't sign all the players with the highest ratings or so forth, but get the players with potential. And Stefan de Vrij is a very, very, very good centre-half. Again, you can pick him up for around £26 million, and he will fill one of those holes for you at the back. But in terms of his ball playing, he's fantastic. His first touch is quality. He's a real continental defender, 13 passing. You could play him as a ball-playing centre-back if you did desire, but again, 24 years old, so the mental stats will improve, but they are already looking pretty decent work rate, positioning, what you want and anticipation for a centre-back, but the rest of them will, they are in their 14s, 15s, so you're all right there. So Stefan de Vrij, a very good player to get you to the Champions League, and then potentially you can upgrade after that. So to fill the last berth that we want to go for, we're going to look for a striker. So let's jump over to France, let's go to Lyon, and let's look to pick up the one and only Lacazette. I think he's the perfect player for Liverpool, both in real life and on Football Manager. He's a forward that isn't a target man, he's very mobile, he can switch positions, he can play on the left, can play on the right. But Football Manager wise, as what I want right now for this Liverpool team, he's perfect in terms of his ability and how he could really get on the end of chances in terms of the 3 key ones that I wanted as an advanced forward is your dribbling, finishing, first touch. Already, in your 15s and your 17s, very, very good. And then you're looking at your determination, decision making, all fantastic for Lacazette and very, very quick. Something that is good in the Premier League is having quick forwards, because you usually come against West Broms, your Everton, your Burnleys that have slow, aging centre-backs, and that's where Lacazette can absolutely kill it. Anyway, moving on, players to throw into the bin. My bin for Liverpool is pretty big. So let's go through the top 3 that I go for, and I'm probably going to sell a lot more of those. First up, it's going to be Daniel Sturridge. Again, I mentioned he's not going to be my Premier striker because of his injury problem. May have a problem with injuries. That is one of the worst things you can have on Football Manager. You've got to rely on your number 9, and that's where Lacazette is the man. Then I'd probably move on Danny Ings. I'd probably get rid of him as well. Just not going to fit into my side. I think Firmino's going to be backup striker, can play that false 9 role, so Danny Ings isn't worth keeping. And then, of course, Dejan Lovren, he's worth like 25 million. You could get 26 million for him, so he is straight away into the absolute bin. So let's look at the team. Firstly, we've got Donnarumma in goal. We've signed David from Lazio, Abdenor from Monaco. We've got Patrick Rodriguez from Wolfsburg, great signing there. And obviously Lacazette through the middle. In terms of our transfers, we spent a lot of money, but we made a lot of money. Spending £117 million on Abdenor, Donnarumma, David, Ricardo Rodriguez, and of course Lacazette. In terms of players that we sold, we made some pretty decent sales. Daniel Sturridge to Tottenham, Lovren to Guangzhou, Ings to Leicester City, Laurie to Villa, and of course Simon Mignolet over to Lyon. So if we just look at the squad right now, I'm pretty happy with that. Lacazette through the middle is the key man in an attacking sense. One player that I think is going to be underrated for this Liverpool team this season is going to be Adam Lallana. He's playing the role of attacking midfielder support. I've got him towards the right-hand side because I want him to feed Sadio Mane. Obviously, Coutinho is going to be seeing a lot of the ball. I want Emre Can to be making the runs in behind him or onto his through balls. But I want Lallana as well to dictate on that right-hand side, get the ball to Sadio Mane to cause absolute chaos. But anyway, guys, that is it. We are ready to sim the season. Let's see what happens. So, the simulation has run. Liverpool finishing 3rd in the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, which is a good little surprise, and losing in the quarter-final of the EFL Cup to Burnley. Anyway, let's dive in. Actually, let's go and check who won the Premier League first. Oh, the mighty Manchester United win the Premier League for a record 21st time. But let's just look at the stats right now. Lacazette, oh my God. 41 goals in the Premier League. That is absolutely incredible. 41 goals in 38 games. Wow. 51 goals in 48 games. Jesus, if you are a Premier League team on Football Manager, you've got to sign Lacazette. That is absolutely incredible. That's like Messi, Ronaldo type striking stats. Whew. Thought it'd be good, but I didn't know it'd be that good. Sadio Mane as well, picking up 17 assists in the league. Player of the match 13 times as well, Lacazette. What a signing he was. Let's move back to our inbox. So let's talk about the FA Cup. Let's see what happened there. So beating Norwich in the final, 2-1. Again, Lacazette, 8 goals in that competition. The Gary goals of Football Manager 2017. Sign him as soon as you can. Anyway, jumping back to our inbox, let's go and check out the season awards. Obviously, Lacazette, player of the season. Philip Coutinho coming in second, and Coutinho scoring the goal of the season. Let's have a check it out. I reckon it's going to be a long-range strike. That's what Coutinho does on Football Manager. Watch highlights loading. Here we go. So Emre Can whipping it out. Milner off to Coutinho, and he's just banged it from about 40 yards. That is an incredible goal. Nice stuff from Philly C. Let's quickly jump into the squad to see who we've got. So obviously Lacazette is top scorer. Mane, second highest top scorer. Coutinho as well, 14 goals. So Mane a little bit, outdoing Coutinho in terms of the stats, which is quite interesting. But I imagine Coutinho would have been impressive in terms of his key passes and so forth in the Premier League. Let's quickly dive over there and check that one out. So key passes. Of course, Philip C, top for Liverpool. 13 assists and his 36 key passes. So that is very, very decent from the Brazilian international. But no, that's a very good end for Liverpool in the first season, 3rd in the Premier League, guaranteeing that Champions League football. So more players are going to want to come for Liverpool, and there's a lot to build on in the future. Donnarumma as well has got absolutely exceptional. This guy is a joke on Football Manager as much as Lacazette is in the first season. But anyway, that's been it today, guys. That has been Dave Games on TF3. Again, make sure you subscribe to TF3 if you are new, and maybe comment in. What do you think of Lacazette? Gary flaming goals. Unbelievable, Jeff. See you later.